Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Music Village. And now, we already mentioned online before that this show was going to be a little bit late, and the reason behind that is because, well, as you all know, in America, it is the annual Memorial Day weekend, and per tradition, in my household, it's the annual setup of the tent. And as usual, when setting up a tent that has been down for well over several months, there usually is a problem. And it usually involves either ants or spiders, so me trying to set up a tent with ants and spiders all over the place usually takes a little bit longer than usual. So here we are, a little bit later than usual, and this may be a night edition once again for Music Village, but at the same time, the annual setup of the tents got out of the way without a hitch, with only 3 spiders in the way. And Maestro's holding up 4 because he thought he saw one on my back. Oh. Not funny, Maestro. Not funny. But besides all that, folks, we are going to kick off this week's show with a very special surprise for you wrestling fans out there. Seeing the fact that we have surpassed well over 1,000 shows, technically 1,000 shows, but we're counting all the shows we've done over the past 6 years. We've done well over 1,000 shows as of this week, so as a treat, we are going to do a quick review of NXT from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. And according to the Maestro, we would have made it to 1,000 episodes just a little bit sooner if we had have actually done shows during the past couple of vacations over the years. You're right, we would have, but hey, it's still special today. Right near Memorial Day, too. But besides all that, folks, NXT would kick off with none other than the harbinger of doomsday himself, Karrion Kross, going one-on-one against Liam Gray. And during this match, after the very impressive entrance from Karrion Kross and Scarlett, much like last week, would see Liam Gray falling and praying to the feet of one Karrion Kross with not only a side toss suplex, and even a Northern Lights into the Doomsday Saito suplex combination, finally wrapping up this match with the cross jacket for Karrion Kross to win this match via submission. And just in case you guys and gals out there thought we forgot, last week during his debut, Leon Ruff would end up getting a rough trip with, well, what, 2 Doomsday Saitos into the cross jacket for Kross to win that match too? Yeah, so he's decimating people and dive bombing them on their heads like I warned many of people he would do when he made his way to this company. And after the match was over, before Karrion Kross could celebrate with Scarlett, next thing you know, Tommaso Ciampa would come out and say a very impressive entrance, a special entrance, somebody whose aura is special, and the fact that you decided to attack me is special as well. And I challenge you to a match at TakeOver in your house, in my house, to settle the score of what he did to him several weeks ago before he made his big appearance in NXT. And him meaning Karrion Kross. And now it's official, Kross versus Ciampa at TakeOver in your house, and Kross would post online, "This is like a home invasion, and I'm coming in your house." So yeah, I got a feeling it's gonna be Doomsday at In Your House for TakeOver, which we may be doing a report on, but as I digress, folks, next match to take place on NXT would see El Hijo del Fantasma going one-on-one against Akira Tozawa in the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship Tournament. And during this said match, action will go back and forth, including seeing Akira Tozawa doing a snap Frankensteiner and even doing his version of a rolling senton, aka, as they would say in WCW, a cannonball, 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 and even pulling off his top rope big boy senton, all for a near fall. But unfortunately, when Akira Tozawa tried to lock in the octopus stretch, El Fantasma, or El Hijo del Fantasma, would hit the Phantom Driver, countering out of that octopus stretch for none other than El Hijo del Fantasma to go on with a 2-1 record in the B-side of the bracket to move on to the finals. Then, next thing you know, after that match was over, Timothy Thatcher would explain his actions for last week on turning on the Broserweights and basically handing the NXT Tag Team Championships over to Imperium, and would say that he wants to challenge Matt Riddle to another match, only this time it is by snap or tap, basically meaning of submission or knockout. And Matt Riddle would up the ante by saying, yeah, I'll accept that match, only this time it'll be in a cage. And I got a feeling Imperium will be a part of that said match because, you know, for those who don't know, Timothy Thatcher was great friends with Walter outside of the doors of WWE. So that may come into the fact. And the next match to take place on NXT would see Mia Yim going one-on-one against Santana Garrett. And during this match, Santana would pull off a very impressive handspring back elbow into a snap suplex into a float over pinfall for a near fall. And Mia Yim would counter back with a dragon suplex leading directly into her finish called the Protect Your Neck for Mia Yim to win this match via pinfall. But unfortunately, her celebration would be short-lived due to Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae both coming out telling her congratulations on winning your match, but yet you squandered the opportunity last week against Charlotte Flair for the NXT Championship, and we're here to show you in our NXT what happens to people who squanders opportunities. Only for both of them to try to rush the ring to take out Mia Yim, and Mia Yim would defend herself to the best of her ability, only for Johnny Gargano to pull down the rope just before she was about to boot none other than Candice LeRae in the face, for her to fall and spill outside the ring, Johnny Gargano to laugh, and for Keith Lee to come out to try to put Johnny Gargano in his place. And then in an interview later on that night would say that he was going to put Johnny Gargano in his place at NXT TakeOver by challenging him into a match and proving that he is limitless. Which, after that whole match that he had with Dominik Dijakovic, I got a feeling he really is limitless. And besides the limitlessness of Keith Lee, folks, the next match to take place on this said NXT would see Roderick Strong going one-on-one against Dexter Lumis. And during this match, and my God, the Messiah of the Backbreaker would be working on full cylinders during this said contest, not only doing a backdrop on the apron, but also would get countered into a spine buster by Dexter Lumis for a near fall. But unfortunately for Dexter Lumis in his unorthodox style, he was not prepared for that, I guess, intelligent cube-like pinfall by Roderick Strong that would give Strong the victory during this match for him to win via pinfall. And after the match was over, and while Roderick Strong was celebrating, Dexter Lumis, who would do that cool move he did in TNA by actually crawling on his arms, would slowly make his way to Roderick Strong and apply the Katagatame and wouldn't let go of the attack despite Bobby Fish and Adam Cole, baby, striking him in the face over and over again to no avail. So that would lead to Adam Cole trying to wind up for the last shot, only for the Velveteen Dream to come out and beat the living daylights flag tag out of not only Bobby Fish, but also Adam Cole, and finally finishing the job by going to the top rope, holding up the Undisputed Era's sign, I guess, and then would do a Rainmaker elbow right to the outside into the stands, or past the barricade, so to speak, right into the chest of one Adam Cole. And while all that was going on, Dexter Lumis was slowly rubbing the hair of an unconscious Roderick Strong. Very creepy, but still really do love Dexter Lumis and his creepy styles. Hopefully this leads to a championship for this guy in the near future. And the next match to take place on this said NXT would see Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch going one-on-one against Ever-Rise. And my God, during this match, Ever-Rise sure enough fell, because Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch would be on full cylinders, not only serving up uppercuts, suplexes, and everything else you could possibly imagine, but would finish off the job with not only a Boston Crab, or a half Boston Crab, into a Fujiwara armbar for the team of Ever-Rise to tap out and for Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch to win this match via submission, by both of them tapping out at the same time. And after their win, they would say backstage they're looking to try to take those championships off the waist of Imperium, which I think it could be possible. Who knows? And the next thing to take place on NXT, and something we almost forgot, Damian Priest will reveal that he was the guy who attacked Finn Balor backstage several weeks ago, and would do so again, and would say that he would look to become infamous in the world of NXT by taking out the man who made this place a takeover in your house. And will he be able to take on the Prince? I don't think so, and I got a feeling he may get his head kicked off for the disrespect he showed to the Prince known as Finn Balor, who seemed to have a bit more of a mean streak ever since he made his way back to NXT. I like it. And the next match to take place on this said NXT, and I don't know why we're saying this said NXT, but sounds cooler in my head. But either way, folks, next match to take place would see Drake Maverick going one-on-one against Kushida. And during this said match, Drake Maverick, with everything to gain and nothing to lose, would not only be able to hit a cold red on Kushida during this match, but would also be able to counter his armbar from the top rope, leading directly into a roll-up pin for Drake Maverick to win this match, and for Kushida to have a 2-1 record, for none other than Byron Saxton to come out and announce on behalf of Sir William Regal that it will be Maverick, Kushida, and Jake Atlas in a triple threat match to decide who will be facing El Hijo del Fantasma in the finals for that championship. The interim championship until the other guy from England comes back, which unfortunately I forgot his name. Sorry folks, but by next week we'll have it. And with that said, folks, we now head directly into the main event of the evening, which would see the Queen of the Sky, Io Shirai, going one-on-one against the Riptide Nightmare herself, Rhea Ripley. And during this match, Rhea Ripley would try to use her size and speed and strength to try to take out Io Shirai, including doing a cool ripcord impressive drop kick during this match, but unfortunately would get hit with not only a Hurricane Rana but a tope to the outside of the ring, and all while these two were trying to beat the living daylights flag tag out of each other. Next thing you know, Charlotte Flair would make her way to the ring, and right near the ramp while these two were trying to fight each other and make their way back inside the ring, Io Shirai would do a Hurricane Rana, knocking Rhea Ripley directly into Charlotte, before sending Rhea Ripley back into the ring and hitting a very beautiful 619, or what Mario Ronaldo would call a Tiger famed kick right to the face into a beautiful springboard drop kick for a near fall. And this match would come to an emphatic end after Rhea Ripley would try to hit a spine buster on Io Shirai, leading directly into a DDT, only for the Queen to get back up to her feet, kick Io Shirai in the face, and then take out Rhea Ripley with a hellacious spear for the Queen to celebrate in the center of the ring, and for William Regal, after the cameras would go off, would announce that unfortunately, yeah, it's going to be a triple threat match at TakeOver in Your House between Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, and Charlotte Flair. And that should put the Queen in her place. And meanwhile, backstage in an NXT extra moment that would take place on YouTube, we would see Akira Tozawa getting kidnapped by a whole bunch of masked wrestlers. Who are they? Why have they been kidnapping people for the past several weeks? We'll have to find out next week on another classic episode of NXT. And with that said, folks, we now head directly back into that music as we go grab a glass of water. And when we return, we'll be back with another edition of the Friday Night Greenlight right after this. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned.